This is a public service announcement on behalf of the Peter Crouch podcast from me, Peter Crouch. I'd like to address the fact that Dave seems to have gone missing. He hasn't gone missing. He is in fact on holiday. He then informed us that he has a proper job away from this podcast, stats and what have you. He's currently parching the Bundesliga as we speak, and we wish him well in that. I'd like to announce that I've extended the loan period of the Notorious SID until the end of the season. Thanks very much for listening. Take care. Hello and welcome back to that Peter Crouch podcast with me, Peter Crouch, Chris Stark and the Notorious SID are with me, and a special guest today, Mr. Rio Ferdinand. You okay, mate? I'm good. I'm good.
Microphone.
He's gone for the beer first.
Do you know what? I love Rio.
Sorry. There we go.
Rio's got this podcast nailed. He reaches for the beer before the microphone.
I've seen it. Don't worry, guys. The priority is that.
Right, so this is good because we said this. We wanted to reconnect you guys. We're doing something called the Lost and Found Challenge, and it's all about getting people to reconnect with old teammates, old mates, that kind of thing, over a lost lager, which is what we're drinking today. And Crouchy, you reached out to Rio, and Rio's here. This is good news.
It's good news. Like I say, we're all season we work on BT together. You know, in the summer we don't see enough of each other.
We did have one couple of days with each other in Portugal last summer.
We did,
didn't we?
Do you want to talk about that?
Escalation. With the family.
We reconnected well.
We went out as family, started there as family. Look at the kids. And by the end of it, don't know where the kids were. Scattered on the beach somewhere.
Love that. That's a good day.
A lot of fun.
Well, just to get us all warmed up for this, what the guys here have done is they've done a little quiz. It's almost like a Mr. and Mrs. quiz.
Okay.
I don't know if you boys want to take part in this just to kick things off.
But it's just, I'd like nothing more, Chris.
I'm sure you wouldn't. All right, let's start with you, Rio. So these are questions about Crouchy. Okay. Let's see how many you get right here. How many trophies did Crouchy win in his career?
Oh,
I've got one.
Was he at Portsmouth when they won it? Was he at Spurs when they won it? I'm going to go 4.
Going 4. Sids, what would you go with there?
I was going to go 2.
2. It's 2.
Is it?
That, Sids.
Where did you win them?
FA Cup.
I can't remember the other one. What, are you counting the Community Shield?
It's
on the wiki, isn't it? It's on wiki.
I lost 2 big ones, to be fair.
All right, which team did Crouchy score the most goals for? I can give you options if you want.
Go on, options, please.
Stoke, Liverpool or Portsmouth?
Oh, that's tough.
I'm going to go Stoke.
You're right. Yeah. It's Stoke. Well played, Rio. Okay, what did Crouchy not do when playing for England against Jamaica in 2006? All right, what did he not do? Options: score a hat-trick, do the robot, miss a Panenka, pick up 2 yellow cards. Amazing options.
What did I not do?
So 3 of them are...
He didn't pick up 2 yellow cards.
That's it. Well done, Rio.
I was there. I played that game.
Yeah. What about the Panenka? That was a nightmare, wasn't it?
You're lucky you scored a hat-trick though, isn't it?
You know what? Because I never scored an England hat-trick. Can you imagine scoring 2 and then Panenka in one over the bar, never getting an England hat-trick?
That was a bit like a Gary Lineker moment when to break the record, wasn't it?
Break the record.
He tried a Panenka.
Yeah.
Do you remember that Panenka when it happened?
Yeah, I was shouting, what are you fucking doing,
Pissed
man?
off.
I got a lot of abuse like, from obviously senior pros like Rio, but also I remember Steve McLaren pulled me as well, said, stop dicking about.
Can't do that in England shirt.
No.
You must have said, listen, I got a hat-trick, man, relax. Can be 1-6 or something, didn't we?
Yeah.
You done quite well there, Rio, actually. It does seem like you boys know each other quite well. What about questions for you, Pete, about Rio? Let's see how many you get right here. How many goals did Rio score in his career? Do you want options?
Options, please, yeah.
8, 16 or 21? This is where Rio corrects whatever is said here. Anyway.
I ain't got a clue, I've got to be honest. I know it. Yeah, go on, I'll leave it on. I won't say nothing.
16.
16?
Yeah.
Bang on.
poor, really.
I remember a belter. I remember one at Old Trafford, the one where you flicked it back and
left chucker
against Liverpool.
I scored most goals against Liverpool.
Yeah, I know.
Unbelievable.
I was on the duty that game.
This is a great question. How much did Rio recently claim he'd be worth in today's transfer market if he was in his prime?
Ooh.
I did hear this.
Options.
Okay, yeah.
80 mil,
Yeah.
120 mil, or 170 mil.
I reckon he's got 120 mil.
You've been conservative there. 170
You
million.
would always
he's
go
gone for.
big.
Yeah. Got to go big, ain't you? Fuck them.
Stand by it.
I'm all over it. The Saudi market's open. You know what I mean?
The Saudi market's open.
The Saudi market
The
is open.
market is open for business.
Very quickly.
I wonder if they do podcasts over there.
That's a great shout.
Well, you never know, do you?
Please, can we do a reveal vid like the
Yeah,
Gerrard one?
yeah.
It was just wonderful. That. All right, last question. How many minutes to the nearest 1,000 did Rio play for United? 30,000 minutes, 40,000 minutes, 50,000 minutes. That's hard to compute.
Yeah, I can't.
Well,
help
I
you.
just can't compute that. So I'm going to say 50,000.
It was 40,000.
Okay, all right.
So on the balance of things, Rio knows you a bit better than you know.
I'm more interested in Crouchy than he is in me. Is that what we're saying?
That's basically it. You're
Okay.
a bigger fan.
Yeah.
He's a
than the other
bigger
way
fan.
round. But at least we're connecting, and that's what it's all about. So there you have it. What a wonderful real-life friendship that we've all just witnessed blossom there. But the big question, what about you and your mates? We want to see some more entries from you guys for our Lost and Found challenge. Get sending in your selfies, videos or voice notes of you and a mate that you've reconnected with. I know it all feels a bit awkward, this, reconnecting with someone from your past, but why not give it a go? And thanks to Brewdog, we're going to send the best ones a 48-pack of Lost Lager. Just email in to peter.crouch@acast.com, include your address, and we can send you potentially one of these 48 packs of Lost Lager. We're just going to work out the story that we like the most. Terms and conditions will, of course, apply, and you can find them over at brewdog.com/crouch. So, yeah, we've established Rio knows Pete a little bit better than the other way around. Should we crack on with the podcast, though?
Yeah, let's
I'm
do it.
ready.
This is what we're here for. Let's go.
Well, do you know what, Ree? We had Julian Dicks on the other day, and I know obviously you come through at West Ham. He spoke about, because I said to him, of all the years you played at West Ham, who was the one player that come over from the youth team, and you thought, right, he's gonna be a player, and he said you.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He said, out of all of them, Frank, everyone who came over, he said you were the one that he knew.
Described you as a Rolls Royce.
It's weird, yeah, because I swear, so in Chad Belief, the training ground, you used to have like the first team training on the main pitch there, and we were on the pitch like yards away. So if there's an injury or someone didn't, or whatever happened, like someone got sent in or something, Harry would call a youth team player over, and you'd be begging that it was you. But the pressure, the walk from that, it's like going to a penalty in a full stadium for a big game. The walk from that youth team pitch to the first team pitch used to, like, some would shrivel on the way over and wouldn't even, like, legs couldn't even get them there almost. And one of the main reasons was Dixie, because he was a ruthless bastard. Sorry, he was so, like, can we swear on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, I see kids come over sometimes when I was like, I was in the team then or in the squad, and the kids would come over and you'd hear him go, oh, for fuck's sake, he's coming over, he's like raw. Like, and like young, before they even touch the ball, send him back. Oh, he can't have it. Not on my team. Like mad shouts like that, and you're thinking, right? Normally a young player needs an arm around the shoulder. Come on, somewhere, all right. Come on, jump, get in. 1 or 2 touch, first pass. Come on, right? It was just ruthless. So on the way over, I was thinking, please, your first touch, please, Dix, play it nice, Dixie. You look at Dixie for a little reaction, but he never give you nothing. He was a cold, hard bastard.
Oh,
yeah. So
Was that a case of, like, similar to what you said at Liverpool when you was going there and not really impressing Rafa? It was more Stevie. And so was that one of the ones who just get yourself through the first couple just to literally impress?
Yeah.
Dixie say he's not on your back.
Yeah, just I don't want any negative energy from Dixie, please, like, because he was so cold. I didn't even expect him to. When I saw him turn up as a coach somewhere, I was like, this guy he's like a walking contradiction, because he used to sit there. I remember Christmas do at Rollerball in Romford one time. Right?
wow!
Remember Rollerball?
How things have moved on, son.
What a gaff, seriously. Used to go there and sit on the thingy, right? And we was in there having a few drinks as the starter for the Christmas do. And everyone come in like fancy dress, and he wouldn't wear it. turned up. I don't know. I think he turned up in his normal gear, and like lads were like, "Why? What are you doing?" So you like him, my mates, just acquaintances.
Wow.
Yeah, like it was so raw. And then I see him turn up as a coach. One of the lads, I went to West Ham. I trained one time, just messing about with Slaven when he was there. And he was a coach, Dixie. He was so nice, warm, as you have to be as a coach. It was just such a contrast to the person that I grew up thinking, please let him think I'm half decent as a player. So to hear that makes me happy.
Yeah, because obviously I imagine he'd never ever praised you, right? So
I wouldn't know how good he thought I was. Ever.
Yeah, and he said you were the one that, so that surprised you.
Yeah, we had some good
kids.
Yeah,
but no praise is a good thing from him then, by the sounds of it. You're saying if you're getting hammered, for want of a better phrase, then you.
If you're just saying nothing, that's probably
praise.
That's it. Yeah.
A Rolls Royce at 17. That's some praise.
Yeah. Lucky.
I'm amazed by that sort of having to get approval from a key player in a team. And you're right, Sid. Crouchy's talked about it.
You got to remember, Dixie, right? The manager couldn't even tell him what to do.
Yeah.
Harry couldn't even, we'd go out and all the players would walk out, right? And then the manager would go, right, do 2 laps of the whole training ground as you warm up, jog. We're going around. Dixie, as we're going around, he's walking out with a bag of balls, his own bag of balls, and just starts smashing penalties into the net. No goalkeeper on his own while we're doing the warm-up.
What he wants.
Who does that?
He was fantastic at penalties, to be fair.
Mental. So it's just so different.
I wish we'd have done this before we interviewed Julian Dicks.
Seriously. He never used to go out for the warm-up in a game. Like, imagine you send the team out warm-up, he's getting in a hot bath.
Do you know what else he said? He said that he goes to visit the old grounds. He'll go to Upton Park and just drive there and stand outside, just on a day off.
The best one about him was other than when Al Berkovic got his head kicked off by Johnny Artson and he was laughing. Dixie was laughing.
Was he?
Like he could have gone A&E, right? But he what one was it again?
The Terminator, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was an unbelievable player as well, good player. Sorry, me and Frank used to room together. So clubs now got a lot of money. Everyone's got their own room. Back in the day, we always used to room together. Says me and Frank was walking through a corridor at an away game to go to the game in the morning. So it must have been about 12 at lunchtime. Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff, walking through the corridors, hotel room, there's a door open. Go in and have a look. It's Dixie and used to room with Slaven Bilic. What do they do? Like the senior players, we're the young ones. How do the older players, what's their rooms like when they leave it? Do they clean up? Do they leave it messy? Just poked our heads in there. Beds are all over the gaff. And there was an ashtray on the middle bit, like the middle little table between the 2 beds. Ashtray full of ash and cigarettes, a JD bottle gone, and loads of Coke, about half full Coke bottle. They'd done a bottle of JD together the night before a game.
Wow.
Slaven Bilic, who's a manager, and Dixie was a coach.
Wow.
Unreal.
That is incredible. But like that time at West Ham, I suppose it felt like a tough environment.
Yeah,
with those players like John Moncur, like all the characters there when you were coming through.
Dixie, John Moncur, Ian Dowie, John Artson, Steve Lomas was hard, Ian Bishop, all massive drinkers. Then you had Wrighty came a little bit later as well. Who else?
Quite a tough.
They were the main ones. Even Alva Martin at the beginning as well. There was a lot of loud, big characters. It was a lot of the wrong, not the right way to go about having a prolonged career at the top. A lot of the stuff they'd done. But me and Frank used to get on the coach, when we were 17, 18, go away trips. And we used to sit, say for instance, we were sat here, our seats were here, then the gangway's there to get to the back. We were just before the back, the booth used to have at the back. But that's where all them big guys that I mentioned used to be in there. They were fully loaded with beer, wine, JD on the way to an away game on the Saturday. So Friday afternoon, I've seen players fall off the team coach when we get to Manchester or something. Me and Frank just think, wow, one day we're going to be in there. one day we're going to be in there doing that with them guys. It'd be unbelievable.
Wow.
But that's how it was though with them clubs sometimes, wasn't it?
But you were at such a transitional time in the game, it feels, in that you saw the old school. Crouchy often talks about it, and Sids, you said the same, but you sort of saw the old school and you saw that bit of football, and then you were also there when the money was really coming into it and the game was turning not more professional, but
for the better, wasn't it? It was
different standards.
I like when we played because I like that whole kind of journey of seeing that, and then coming out of that, and then going to the other way, and obviously having a good career off the back of that.
It's a bit sterile now. I find it a little bit like it's a little bit straight. Like, that's why Jack Grealish, everyone loves him.
Yeah.
Because he is like what we were probably like in our time, but he's like every geezer down the pub now sits there and goes, that's how I'd react.
But you can relate to it, can't you? Like I like players who play with a smile on their face. I look at Declan Rice, Saka, Grealish. Like they're the ones you want to see them do well.
A lot of the England players, when they're playing together, play with a smile, right? Which is arguably, from looking at outside as a fan, maybe a different experience to what you boys had.
Well, that's a different time, isn't it? But like, if you think about the England squad now, they all look like they're enjoying it, and like, whereas probably our time it felt like it was like kind of the weight.
Yeah, we had a bad relationship with like the fans, with the media. Yeah, so it was like you were fighting. Yeah, you were fighting against like all of that. Forget the results or the opposition. You were fighting against all of that walking in there. So people were trudging into the camps. Whereas these boys, you see the social medias, they're bouncing out the car. Where's my bag? Get me in there. We weren't really like that.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah. When you're coming through at West Ham, like obviously you're making waves as a young player. Did you ever have the opportunity to go somewhere like when you were young, or did you kind of break through at West Ham? You were always going to play for West Ham in the first team, and did you see that as your route?
No, I was like, when you have that, it's different now. You used to have that like when you're just leaving school, you have the opportunity to sign for a team, like whether it be. When we were younger, you could go to like, there was no compensation. So if I've been at West Ham for 4 years now as a kid and I want to go and play for like Man United as a kid, there's like, you've got to pay compensation for every year you've been there. It amounts to a lot of money. Whereas when we were younger, you make a decision then, it's just like, okay, I've made a decision to go there, I'm going to go, and that's it. So I had like Millwall, Charlton, most of the London clubs really, Chelsea, other than Spurs and Arsenal, Middlesbrough, Norwich, a few teams I could have gone to.
So what made you choose West Ham?
Just the pitch. It was, we're going to invest in young players and we don't want to spend money in the transfer market. We want to bring this group of players from your age group and below into the first team. We haven't brought a player through since like one who's been a regular since probably Paul Ince, maybe Tony Cottee vibes. Danny Williamson's played a little bit, but not a fully fledged regular. So we want to really make you play.
But you must hear that quite a lot. Like,
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that from any other club.
And because it's incredible, because they did actually follow through with it. And I remember being at those games, and I look at that team that was there, and I remember you guys all celebrating, and me being there watching it. And I look back now, and it was you. It would have been Carrick.
Carrick was a bit after. It would be a bit younger. It was me, Frank. Lee Hodges was an unbelievable player, best England player around under 15s.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Miyami, who made his debut as well. Neil Finn, youngest goalkeeper at the time. About 4 or 5 from my age group and a year above come through.
So they stuck to their word on that.
But then you had like Carrick, Joe Cole, Glenn Johnson, Defoe, my brother. Like, ridiculous.
Do you hear that buzz of like when you're in the first team now, you and Frank, and then do you hear that buzz of what's happening underneath with those boys? It
was only Joe Cole was the main one you heard about, and then Carrick was like he's got a potential, but Coley was like the best young player in the country at the time. So the buzz was like Wayne Rooney vibes coming through, phenomenal. And then Defoe after, because he come from Charlton, everyone was like there was a buzz around him.
I just want to touch on starting out when you was in Peckham, you know, that because there's a big thing, is there, that obviously you've done a documentary, didn't you, about the South London footballers that come through the conveyor belt. There's a big batch, isn't there, that come through. When you was coming through, was you seen to all the others that you was the one that was going to make it, and how tough was it to make it growing up in that environment as well?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's on my estate. I hung around with like. I was probably always 2 years minimum younger than all my mates, like average probably 3-4 years younger than most of my mates. So I was never the best player on my estate. It was always the older boys, obviously, they're going to be better, stronger, quicker, etc. But by the time I got to like 14, 15, I started becoming like shoulder to shoulder with a lot of these older players on my estate. And I used to think, I'm playing Sunday football, district football against players that ain't as good as the boys on my estate. That's all I used to think. So I used to think like there was one particular guy called Gavin, who's my one of, you know Gavin from Dino Germany. He was the best player on our estate, really? Like ridiculous technique and skills and that. But he just never made it for whatever reason. And then obviously you hit the front at like 15, you're at a pro club, getting talked about England trials and all that stuff, and then your mates start, that's when you get protected. Because if there's one of you on your estate who they think's got a chance, and they're about 15 years old, I was that guy, when there's trouble, you get pushed to like where you sit over there, you go over there, or you get to like you get leeway and you can join certain games and that you'd never have got if you didn't play football. My age boys weren't doing that, so football was like a protective blanket almost for me, which I was
So that
lucky.
was the original scouting in a way. It was people in the estate, was it? Just sort of protecting you because they knew you were going on to something.
Yeah, they.
That's pretty special.
Yeah, it is, and I don't even think anyone thinks about it. You don't really know what you're doing as kids, but it's just they know. And also, my dad was quite a hard geezer, like a hard guy on my estate. He was like militant, kind of don't talk, but they knew if something happens with Rio, who's accountable. So they kind of there was that as well. So I was lucky I had that. Not many of the kids had that on my estate.
How good's that grounding? You know, because I obviously different side of London, but like in Bow, like with Ledley King and Ashley Cart, like a couple of times we've led. I played. In the cage, right? In Bow.
Unreal.
Wow, you got to be a player in there.
Yeah.
You find out very quick.
Yeah, you got to be a player to not get your head to go through the side
That's what I
cage.
need.
You know what I mean?
That's what I need.
it's
Imagine
mad.
me turning up, right? Like these boys, right? It's like walking into a saloon bar, right? And everything goes quiet. I walked in and obviously I'm thinking, well, okay, no, I got to turn it on here, and it's a baptism of fire, isn't it? Like it's quick. You got
to show something immediately, otherwise people are looking at you like, get him out. You can't play.
Yeah.
Why was this the arena? What
So
is this?
literally, like in the estate, like obviously where Ledley was, I stayed over with Led once, and I said, "Show me this cage. What's it all about? Right, get me involved."
Because you'd heard about it.
Yeah, because obviously he keeps talking about the cage, right? And I'm going, okay, so we get in this cage. It's like a bit of a five-a-side game, but like there's some top players in there, some very good players, and
because it's so tight as well. If you're quick and strong, you can dominate a little bit in there. But then obviously, if you've got added skill to that, which most of the kids had, it's like. Before you know it, you get the ball, someone just like bullied you physically minimum, and then all of a sudden take the ball and try to put it through. Oh, it's just like, if you go in there, you ain't clued up and you ain't sharp enough, the game's just going like past you.
There was elements. It was like ice hockey as well. You know, like when it goes onto the sides and you know someone to just like
Get
ram
smashed.
you into the side.
You played in there as well.
Yeah, everyone.
Why's everyone played in this?
Well, I've not been in this
cage,
certain
like-
cage, but there's cages.
Yeah,
cages all over London.
Right. No, I thought.
There's not one cage in London that everyone goes
No,
to.
but what I'm imagining here, I don't know why I'm imagining sort of some Mighty Ducks scenario where there's just this one cage. It's famous that everyone seems to be going through this one.
Oh, it's all
No.
different.
One
different
particular
kinds of it.
area.
Yeah, I just remember Ledley telling me about it, and I sampled it, and it's you can see why players come out of that kind of environment.
Street
Because you
Yeah,
got to handle as
exactly
well,
that.
not just the football. You got to handle the banter. Like it's ruthless. So it prepares you to go into a change room, which is a ruthless environment as well. Like you get hammered if you're not good enough, or if someone does a bit of skill on you. That could last days in terms of banter, bringing it up. So you got to be ready.
Especially these days with social media.
But that correlates to you obviously going from one pitch to the next with Dixie. Giving you a bit of abuse going. Well, I've been used
you'd
to
be able to handle it.
Yeah.
So you do that, and then so what was it? The next steps for you in terms of your next move, was that a hard move to make, or was it
What,
an
to
easy
Leeds?
decision? Yeah, do you go to Leeds, and then obviously that was quite a phenomenal time to.
Yeah,
be going
my decision was made a lot easier because I loved West Ham. I loved being there. I loved the fans. I had such a great relationship with the fans, and still have really. But I was out shopping with my dad, and I got a call from the chief executive at the time. I think it was Peter Story, and he said, "Listen, we've accepted an offer from Leeds." And bearing in mind, for the 2 summers before that, I'd been into the chairman, Tony Brown, and said, "Who are we buying? We've got all these young players coming through. We've got to be buying, and we finished 8th or 6th or something. We can do better than this. Come on." No, we're not. This is what we are. And then when they rang me and said we've accepted the bid, I was gone then. Because at the moment you accept a bid, that means you don't really want me there. You want the money. So I thought,
So
you know
you
what?
felt you were being part of a West Ham that was building, and you were actually looking for other players that they were bringing in. You
Yeah.
were committed. It
Yeah,
feels like.
no, I was. But the moment that happened,
Record fee as well, by the way. So
Yeah.
West Ham are doing really well out of you.
Yeah.
Brought you through the academy.
everyone wins.
Yeah.
I go on to pastures new with a bigger club playing in Europe, which was great for my development, and the club get a massive fee. So everyone wins really. So I was happy with that.
Did you always have one eye at that point that if you're moving from this club that meant so much to you and it sort of brought you through that stage, that the Leeds move was big? Did you have eyes elsewhere at that point?
Yeah, I
Or-
did.
Yeah.
I honestly said I was saying in my head, this is like, I'm going to go Leeds, but this ain't my final destination. But David O'Leary and Mr. Ridsdale actually said that themselves to me when I was talking to him about going there. Like when I was in my agent at the time's flat in London, Mr. Ridsdale came and met me, and he was talking about it and said, "Listen, if you do what you're meant to do, you won't be here long.
Yeah.
We won't be able to keep you." So, and that was already in my mind, and I like that he wasn't thinking, "Oh, we're going to keep you and hold you. We'll help you grow, and you might end up being a player we can sell.
Well, that's when you was building a young team, wasn't it? Young squad.
Great team.
Huell, Smith, Bowyer, Woody. Yeah. So it was, the majority was destined to go on.
Yeah. Great. It's a great bunch.
A lot of characters in there.
Yeah,
as well, right?
probably the most enjoyable time of my career, because at Man United it became too much pressure. Not too much, but it's more about pressure to win and whatnot. But at Leeds, it was about. West Ham was like win or lose, have a booze. If you draw, have some more. Right? That was the motto. That was the motto at West Ham.
Wow.
And then you go to Leeds, like I ain't got to want anything like that. But it was more like, listen, have a game, go out. Most of the squad go out.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of Irish boys there who loved a beer as well. So after every game we was at Champions League in the city and one club city as well.
Yeah.
Like, mate, you get looked after.
Powerful.
Everything's brilliant. It was amazing. Like the most carefree, brilliant time on the pitch and off the pitch.
You say carefree, but they made you captain there, didn't they? How old would you have been? You would have
I
been
think 22 maybe. 22.
young to be a captain.
It was the difficult part of it. But the most difficult part is it was Lucas Radebe, because he was the captain. He's like a cult figure there. Do you know what I mean? Fans' favourite, great player. And he had a few injuries at that time. And then I'd only been there like 2 or 3 months. And I didn't really know the lads that well yet. And I was getting involved in going out and in the banter and becoming part of the group. But then the way Mr. or David O'Leary done it at the time is he just pulled me and Lucas out of the physio room, which is before training. That's the hub, innit? Everyone's in there having a laugh, bit of crack, whatever. And he pulled us out and just told me in the hallway, Lucas, we spoke about it earlier, but Rio, I'm going to make you captain.
Did you agree with that decision?
Of course I agreed. Of course I agreed, but I just felt so bad. Like I'm standing next to Lucas and I just looked at Lucas straight away and went, sorry, man. And he went, no. It was great, to be fair. He went, Rio, it's you, man. Take it on now. It's a new time and blah, blah. I'll be here to support you. And
fuck, it's like the Lion King, isn't it?
I was like, I was looking at David. I was looking at David O'Leary as if to say, like, fucking, could have done it better than this, man. Please, But the hardest part about it was that the parking the next day, because at the training ground there, it was a captain and the manager's parking space next to each other, and then everyone else parked elsewhere.
You straight in there?
No, man. I drove in and I went, I just went and parked where I normally parked. Yeah. And all the lads, after a few days, a couple of weeks maybe, were going, and I came in one day and go, and in the end he said, listen, Rio, just park there. You got to park there. He come and told me, Lucas, just please park
That's
there.
good from him.
Yeah, it was. It was.
He could have been.
So he wasn't parking in there at that
No, he
point.
stopped parking there.
So
It was just empty
it's
spot.
Just an empty spot.
Yeah.
Isn't it mad, the pressures that, like, what an odd point of pressure to come from that
That's
situation.
respect though as well.
Yeah, no.
That's good.
Quick question: when you become captain of a football team like that, do you get more money?
No, you don't need
purely
money for that type of thing, man. That's just like the privilege to captain like a
I
club.
get that. I just wondered if it's like a bit like, if you get a promotion at work sort of thing, if it's sort of follow suit like that.
No, I don't think you wouldn't have got
It's
that. would you?
prestige, isn't it? It's just being captain, yeah.
The thing about being a captain, though, when you get given it like that, it's like you think to yourself, I've got to change. Like, what do you do differently? Like, do I have to shout more? Do I have to, like, in the change room, I've got to say more? And it takes a little while to kind of understand your role and your position. And
Did you change?
No, in the end, I just done what I normally done, to be honest, and just like, you play the way you play. Hopefully that's a lot. You talk on the pitch as you do anyway. It's just more like sometimes, I grew into being more of a captain later on in my career when I went to United, and it's more about talking to each individual rather than talking to a group. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's little moments when you're going to speak to a player or someone needs a bit of confidence, or just simple little instructions before a game. Like, sometimes I used to hear people like going, listen, we need you to do this, we need you to do that. I just think, if someone talked to me like that before a game, I think, shut up, man. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear loads of detail. Assist goals, Crouchy. It's like, I want like the little details that someone might just go out and think, okay, I'm not going to complicate it. I'll try and get an assist or a goal today. Like, simple information, I found always kind of, you get a better response from players.
I've been with you, like, working at games now, and we've been to Leeds, right? Like, what, you get a lot of grief, right?
Mate,
So
how long ago? 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Listen, I could not believe.
Have you done it?
No. So we done Fulham, Leeds, right at Craven Cottage. Tight ground. We walked past the away end, and it was me and Coley, and Joe behind, and I had my video out, right, videoing him, and I had to stop the video because the abuse that he was getting was off the scale.
It weren't
Off
PG. It
the
weren't
scale.
PG.
I know. Well, I've been there and I've seen it, right? So what's that all about?
Man, I thought we were all right. I thought I left all right. They got 30 mil transfer record.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Like, and
Do you think the manner in which you left, though, did it have anything to do with it? Because
do you know what someone's told me? Sorry to
wasn't it
interrupt.
Because he's United.
No, I've always thought it was because it was Man United, right? But someone told me who's like a diehard. He's got diehard Leeds fans in his friendship group and in his family. And I said, like, what? I don't understand. I knew that he had that connection. I said, why do the Leeds fans hate me so much? Like, I went to Man United. Do they hate Adam Smith the same? I don't think they will. And he said to me, it's because when you talk about your career and everything, you never speak about Leeds. You never say anything like positive about Leeds. And I'm like, if I think back to the interviews I've done, a lot of them have been about Man United focus, obviously, right? That's where I spent most of my career. And I do talk about West Ham because that's the beginning. But I never ever shy away from saying that my most enjoyable time in my career was at Leeds.
Yeah.
Like, I had a great time in terms of no pressure, great lads, great rapport with the fans. But I went to Manchester United, which I knew was a problem. I didn't know it was going to be as big a problem as it was being from London. But that's what I think the Leeds fans should tell me what the problem is really. Like, is it because I went to Man United, or is it because I don't speak about them in the glowing terms that I might speak about Man United? I don't know.
Is the story
Weird.
true about you almost having to convince the chairman to release you?
Yeah, but that's
There's
natural.
no bad thing.
Yeah,
like
that's
that,
natural.
by the
I
way.
don't
I'm not
understand, like,
saying
even
that-
the most staunch Leeds fan, right? When you've sitting here, right, now won everything at Man United, right? Had the career you had at Manchester United, like, even the most staunch Leeds fan must go, well, I understand that now.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the only
surely.
reason I went. I didn't go for money. I didn't go for anything other than I want to win.
Yeah.
And I thought Man United had a better chance. Bearing in mind the backdrop to that, me going to Man United as well, that Leeds had to sell me anyway. I knew that as well. That's one of the reasons why I was so like forthright, and I was like sitting outside the chairman's office. I know you got to sell me, because I know people that are in the business or used to be, who are colleagues of that people that own this club are selling me financially. You lot are in such a bad place, and in the end, they sold everyone. So I was going to go anyway.
Yeah.
What was your initial contact? Because everyone's got that first meeting with the new manager, and obviously more often than not, the meeting with Sir Alex is he's driven down 5 hours to go and see someone in the living room. But can you remember yours when you first spoke to him?
Sid's has got a great Mourinho story.
Yeah. Everyone's got one though, but I'm saying, Sir Alex, I
What's
could just
yours?
see
Yeah.
it being something that just
I met
stand
him
out.
I met him at the airport hotel in Leeds. Was it a hotel around the corner from Leeds Airport, I think? Or was it Manchester?
Leeds
No,
Bradford Airport.
it might have been in Manchester. An airport anyway, hotel. And I went.
Like a Premier Inn, I'm like.
Yeah, but he had the main room. Don't worry about that. There was the elite room. He was in it, right? And it was like going to see The Godfather. On the way up, my legs had gone completely, yeah. And I was walking up and thinking, rah, Alex Ferguson, like, you start thinking about what he means to football. It's like mad. It's like a video starts playing in your head. And it's like these double doors open. There's a corridor in this room, and he's just sitting at the end of it. He must have staged this, like, to make me feel intimidated, like. But I walked in, and he's obviously like really light-hearted, and he's so different to what I imagined him to be. Welcoming, we want you. That's made me feel like, listen, we need you at our club. I've been in for so and so. I've spoken about this player, big players around at the time, but we want you. And I was like, that's me, man. And like, we're gonna win. We're gonna win again, like, because they didn't win the year before.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're primed to win, and I want you as part of it. We're gonna break the record to buy you. And I was like, I can't go anywhere
Who are the
else.
centre halves there now? So, like, where I'm thinking like, right, so who's my competition?
I didn't see competition,
No.
I've got to be honest with you, because like Mikel Silvestre, top player, great pro. You can see top player. Laurent Blanc's on his last legs. It's not the Laurent Blanc when he was 27. So I knew Laurent Blanc's going to be going. You're going to come maybe play a season with him, then he's going to go. So, and you're breaking the record for me. I'm coming playing. I know that. So I was like, I just wanted to put the shirt on, man.
Did
Seriously.
you say yes in that meeting in that hotel?
Yeah, because I wasn't someone to talk about money. I didn't like it. The same when I went Leeds. That Mr. Risdale was chatting money. I said, listen, with all due respect, I want to. You talk to him about that. I want to know that David O'Leary's going to improve me as a player. That's it. Same thing was with Sir Alex Ferguson. Like, I come to play, obviously, and we're going to try and win. I just wanted to hear what he was saying about coaching me and how the team and the environment and all. That's what I wanted to know about.
You know, like did you walk around Old Trafford and like look at the kind of history? Like obviously, when I signed for Liverpool, obviously a bigger club than Manchester United.
He's pissed. He's pissed again. He's had too many of these.
He's got a little ripple.
He's got a ripple from the scouts over there.
He's smashed.
But no, genuinely, did it hit? Did you think, oh my, like this is a proper club?
Yeah, like I didn't go walk around the museum. Liverpool ain't got a museum. But I didn't walk around the museum or anything like that. But it was you walk out onto the pitch out of the tunnel at Old Trafford. You know what it's like when you walk out there. The place just opens up and the history just hits you in the face. And yeah, I just was like, it was weird because my mum was in the Sir Alex Ferguson's office, or was it David Gill, one of their offices where I was doing all the paperwork to sign. And I remember him saying to my mum, Rio, is he all right? He don't seem that happy. And like, I was never one to get too excited at the time until I want to get the kit on. I want to feel what the socks feel like. I want to get on the pitch and play games. So and also the paperwork weren't dry. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like official yet. And so until that goes through, my medical's all right.
Yeah.
I can't be celebrating nothing.
If I was your mum, I would have said, have you not seen the suit he's wearing? He's don't worry about that.
Some suit, to be fair.
I had to make an appearance.
Yeah.
You know, do you remember the shop Probito? Back in the day, down in West End somewhere. I went down there specially
New
just
Bond
to
Street.
New Bond Street.
At the top of the wood. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Went in there, picked that. Yeah, that's the one for the walkout. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Wow.
Did you ever get by like something for when you signed?
Yeah, like a special? I did it a few times. I was like, which ones? Get me signing suits out. I had a rack of them.
Is that a thing? A signing suit?
I thought it was. I thought, listen, this is like a massive day for me and my family.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna. Wayne Rooney signed for 30-odd mil as a teenager and coming in some baggy jumper. Disgraceful. He got hammered.
Disgraceful.
Like, you have to make an effort, man.
I mean, when you talk about the Godfather, obviously Sir Alex Ferguson, like I had one where I went to the Alderley Edge Hotel and I was at Stoke at the time, and I remember going in there, and apparently on a Sunday he has the same table. I don't know if you know this.
Oh, okay.
There's the same table in there, and
in Alderley Edge Hotel.
In Alderley Edge Hotel on a Sunday
yeah.
as his roast dinner.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've come in, me and Ab, and he's gone. Obviously, yeah. Where do you want to sit? I said, yeah, lovely table by the window there. And anyway, we sat down, and one of the waiters came over and goes, "John, this is Alex Ferguson's table." And I was like, "What? Seriously?" And he goes, "Yeah, he's not. I said, he's not coming today, is he?" I said, he went, "No, don't worry." And I've seen this car pull up, haven't I?
No way.
And I've gone, oh, fucking hell.
He's walked out.
I'm tucking into my roast beef. And I'm on his table. And I went, oh, no. And I said to Ab, and she's going, what are you talking about? It's like, don't be so ridiculous. So I've made her pick up the roast dinner.
And move.
And move.
Wow.
And sat on the other table over there, and like I didn't even tell the waiters or anything. I'm just on a different table now. And anyway, he's walked in. He is none the wiser. Goes and sits down. But like that's the kind of respect I think you have to have. Even
that's powerful.
You know, I never played for him, but this is Sir Alex Ferguson.
It's like when I ever met him as a West Ham player in the car park at West Ham after a game. They beat us probably, and I'm walking to go to my car, and he's walking towards me, and I just was like, I couldn't get my words out. I didn't know what to call him, Sir. Alex, boss. I ended up calling him Gaffer. He's not even my gaffer. Weren't even my boss. weren't even my gaffer. Harry Redknapp would have been devastated. I called him Gaffer, and I was like, I shook his hand and just walked off and thought, fuck, what'd you do? That's the amount of like, you're in awe a little bit around him.
Yeah, so you've done it. So when you signed, right, and then you're there. And did you sort of keep that relationship that you had from when you signed? You felt that, or did it change when you were in the team to something a bit more distant?
Yeah, that warm, like welcoming character after your first couple of days at the club disintegrates because it's just he's serious, man. He's like he still likes a little laugh around a training ground, and he'll say something about your shoes or your gear, what you got on, or your haircut or something like that. But then once you get out on a training pitch or match day, different animal, like just a ruthless guy, like would rip your head off.
So was the first bollocking a bit harder to take because you'd had this brilliant experience?
No, my first bollocking was West Brom away, and I remember obviously trying to live up to the price tag and trying to spray the ball about a little when I don't need to, just forcing the game as you do. And the ball got cut out from tried to play a right to left ball, it got cut out, and they almost went in and had a shot. tried to do it again to make up for the last one I missed, and Jason Kumas got it and ran in. I don't know if he scored or he hit the bar or something. And I remember half-time, there weren't even a half-time talk, it was just about, he just volleyed me. He said, I don't know who you think you are, you've got to fucking do this and that. You're a centre-half, be a centre-half. Don't think you're fucking spraying the ball over the gaff. You've almost given 2 goals, but I've watered that down. You know what I mean? So he was like a lunatic. So you sit there and you think that, and you're shitting yourself.
Yeah.
Like you are sitting there going, fucking, like anywhere else, there's no geezer just talking to you like that, and you're just going to suffer it. But here, you're looking around like for a little bit of like reinforcement from your teammates, and they're all their heads down like that, like big players.
Wow.
I was on holiday a couple of years ago and got talking to Teddy. And when you're with players, you never want to talk about football, but I had to ask him literally about United at the time. And I was like, listen, what was it like there? And he just said he used to come in most days and just sit there and they'd just look at whether it was going to be Scholesy or Giggsy, and they'd just go, that was good, that wasn't it? Like the standard was so good and just so like on it. They would just come in and not a word would be said because like they said the players drove training itself. But they'd look there and just go, that was good. That
the manager, I don't know about your clubs where you played, but the manager never come in the change room.
No.
I think you come in there about 4 times probably, and one of those was to say that he was leaving because he just let us run it all the time, like standards, punctuality, whatever in the change room. It was us. But yeah, Teddy's right, 100%. I came after Teddy, but the standard of training every day. There weren't many days when the standard dropped off like 5-10%. It was like a ridiculous standard every day, and like the winning and losing in training was one of the big things. If you were losing or you lost in training, the arguments, the hammering of the coach who was reffing the game or whatever was a joke, off the scale.
Yeah, you were always quite aggressive with the with the referees in training, weren't you?
Yeah, Sammy Lee took
Sammy
a
Lee,
bit.
Sammy Lee,
You
got
midget.
it. Oh well, Sammy Lee got
You ginger rat. Sorry, Sid.
Oh my God! Sid, what's he calling you there?
I'll be a ginger. I'll be a gerbil.
We'll rely on the edit. But nah, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't contain myself in training.
But it was aggressive, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
What did you make of your England career? Like, how many caps did you get?
81, I think I got 81.
It's a lot of caps out there. No,
You should have been more.
You think? Well, obviously,
Yeah,
you
I got banned that
knee.
time. I got banned and I done my knee in the World Cup. But I should have got 100 really. But it was good career with England in terms of numbers, but we just never achieved what we should have.
What did you make of that kind of like that whole ban thing?
It was a joke. I've got to be honest. I deserved to be punished, 100%. You can't forget a jogs test and think you're going to get away with it. I never ever thought that I should be walking out scot-free. But the problem is when there's a precedent set before your case, you expect it to go quite similar to the case before. That everything more or less was identical with the way that a Man City player it happened to, but he wasn't somebody who had gone for a transfer record, or City at the time were a small club.
Do you think they made example of you?
Yeah, 100%. That's where I felt bitter towards the FA.
Do you still think there's some people out there that might doubt why you did that?
Oh, 100%. I'd be one of them if it was the other way around. I'd be saying there's no smoke without fire, surely. I'd be saying that, but...
What happened? Did you just miss it?
Yeah, I went to so the drug test back in the day. How it used to work, and it changed after my case really. But it used to work where the drugs tested would come into the training ground, and they'd go, right, we're testing these 4 players, and they'd come out during the training session, and they'd go, right, you're going to drug test, you're going to, and so on, and they'll go, right, we're going to be in said room when you come in there, when you're ready, when you're getting changed, before you go home, come in there and give us your sample. So after a training session, you could be in a training ground for like 2-3 hours, couldn't you? Messing about, lunch, stretching, gym session, banter or whatever, massages. So I was messing about, but I had to go for lunch with Al Berkovic. I'd organised, he was at City at the time. So I finished training, messed about in a training ground, and then got in the shower and went out of the training ground, went to Selfridges actually for lunch with Al Berkovic. So I'm sitting there, my phone's on the table, we're sitting there having a chat, whatever. And just as my main meals come, I don't know why, I looked at my phone and I've got like 25, 30 missed calls or whatever, text messages coming out my ear rolls. Looked at it, all of them are from the doc. So I thought, all right, doc, you all right? He went, no. He said, he said, where are you? I said, I'm in Selfridges having a lunch. He went, you didn't do your drug test? I went, oh, fucking hell. I said, I'll come back. I'll come back in a little bit. Let me finish my dinner and I'll come back, on my lunch. I'll come back. He went, no, they've left. I said, well, I'll do it tomorrow then. That's how I kind of like, I didn't think it was a big thing like that. Never heard of this. So that's how little I kind of thought about it. And then he's gone, no. I said, could I be in trouble? Am I going to get in trouble the way you sound there, Doc? And he went, well, I don't know, but you could be in trouble. Yeah, you could get banned maybe.
Well, straight away, literally on that call?
I went, fuck off, Doc. He went, no. I said, I don't think you will, but there's a chance. I don't know. So I went, give me the numbers of the doctors and I'll ring them and I'll say to them, stop where you are. They're only like 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
So I'm ringing all these doctors that have been at training ground. None of them answer their phone. So I'll ring the FA. I'll ring people like Michelle Farrer and people like that to give me the relevant numbers.
You're available. You're saying,
I'm saying I'll come back. I can come back. I'm here. Yeah. Like, I'm only in Selfridge, 15, 20 minutes away from the training ground. I'm not hiding.
Yeah.
So I was ringing all these relevant, even the anti-doping people, I'm ringing them, right? So I get hold of someone from the anti-doping people and they go, no, the person's left, they're not coming back. So I was like, right. So I thought the fact that I've been very open and I'm here, I can come back when you need me to, I thought that'll be able to say something, I'll be fine. Then all of a sudden, like, it starts snowballing. Like, everyone's like at the club going, no, this is serious. And then all of a sudden, the England squad was announced, wasn't it? And they said, like, we can't let you come to the England squad. No. And I was like, Sir Alex Ferguson and David Gill, they both drove with me down to the chief executive of England at the time, to his house, David Davis, to argue, what the hell are you thinking about? This kid's innocent. He's tried to ring everyone.
So Fergie was backing you up.
Yeah, and he said, like, you should. The fact that you're not going to pick him to play means that you're making him guilty before he's been in court, and that's what he weren't happy with. He said, whether you think he's done it or not, you're going to judge him. You're judging him before, and the press will take that, the fans will take that, and the public will. So he's going to be killed in the media. So they were. I was in one room. They were all in the other room. I could hear them arguing. Fergie and David Gill shouting the odds for me. I couldn't believe it, right? And I come out and they said, we can't change their mind, that's what we're going to do. And the England squad, I don't know if he was in the England squad at the time, they
What year was this, Ray?
Can't remember. But 2001 was it,
yeah?
Yeah,
no, it was before.
So they was, the England squad, led by Gary Neville actually, were going to decline to play. And I said, listen, they rang me, and Butty rang me, or someone, Kieran Dyer, they rang me and said, listen, we voted that we're going to, I said, listen, you can't do that, man, not for me, don't do that for me, I don't want that on my shoulders. Go and play, it's fine, just leave me and I'll get on this on my own. So that happened, and that was basically, then that was it, I was guilty to everybody else. But when obviously they were going to take me to court and I had to go on, I was charged with it, you obviously, your lawyers and your briefs start doing a bit of research and digging and whatnot, and they found a case that a City player had done identically what I'd done, but the only thing he hadn't done, he hadn't chased the anti-doping people, the FA, the club, etc., to say that he's available. He just went missing. That was the only difference. Missed it, went to the airport, picked up his missus and kids, and then went home, then done it about a few days later. He got like a fine of about 50 grand, and I don't think he even got a ban, or I don't even think he got a ban, right? A 50 grand fine. I got a 250 grand fine, and I got an 8-month ban. And I was like, wow, how can it be so different? That's the only bitterness that I have, is that why is my case so much different from that guy there who's done exactly the same as me? And I actually done more. And actually,
you tried to rectify it at the time. That's what I don't.
Yeah, and you know, one of the biggest things I've done, which hurt as well. I actually grew. That's why I ended up getting braids. I grew my hair because I'd found out, someone reached out to me from the army that said, "Listen, you can free yourself from this and prove that you weren't under any influence of any drugs by doing a hair follicle test." So when you go in the army, you have to have you got to let your hair grow to about like a couple of inches, and then you take your hair off, and they take a sample from that.
And that's why you grew it out.
Yeah, and but that goes back something like 9 to 12 months or something like that, to see how much that window there would have covered the time when I missed a drug test. So I'd done that, and you put that in the court, and you put that as your case, and still they just palmed it to the side. And I was thinking, wow, you want to make a real example of me. And that's how I felt, kind of victimised a little bit. But I knew I needed to be kind of punished. But when you got a case there sitting there that's like yours, you think, okay, I was going into this thinking that I'm going to get what he's got, or a bit more maybe. Yeah. Not 8 months.
So that's a big shock, especially because you're playing for England at the time, right? And let's be honest, the FA are in charge of England, and at that time, the punishments. So,
and it's the knock-ons. I mean, as you were saying, that potentially means that you didn't reach, say, 100 appearances and that. And okay, that's a minor thing in grand scheme of things, but it's still a nice thing that would be nice for you to be.
But also, as well, at least we've cleaned up why you had the braids, because I couldn't understand.
It's true. I don't know why Bex was doing it. You know what I mean? You've got something to tell us.
But so you're the sole reason why they changed the whole drug testing, where they come.
Yeah. So after that, they're
basically called cock watchers, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. They basically handcuff themselves to you.
I've heard about it.
And they watch you having a piss.
I've heard about
In all honesty, it's always been a ball ache, right?
Yeah.
So that especially in that time before, your band really woke everyone up and went, fuck, these are serious. But before that, no, seriously, because before that it was very much like, these are a pain in the arse. Because no one's taking drugs, no one's no one's doing any of that. And we all know it, so it's just that they come in and you go, they're fucking, it's me. I've got to wait here all afternoon.
You can see it marching across the training ground, can't you, all the way to the pitch. And
Jobs worth.
But is it like a stag do where you'd be tied up to someone? Would you like take them?
Now they follow you everywhere.
So you'd go you'd be attached to this fella running around, let them chase you.
No. But once the session finishes, you go and toilet with them. You're going for lunch. You're going to the gym. Wherever you went, everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what? It's a little bit like a parking attendant. Attendant, or
I don't know. I kind of believe in any career, as long as you do it with passion and to your best, that's good. So if you wanted to always be a parking attendant, you become one. You get the uniform. It's like you putting on your kits for the first time. I think fair play. If you want to be a referee, you'd be a referee. If you want to be
not a parking attendant, no.
Do you know what I mean? No, you not a career for you in another life. No.
You look like a drugs tester.
You just need a clipboard, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Barbecues this fella all the time.
I love my barbecues. I'm well into it.
I love
He's not so
BBQC.
much. Yeah.
I would say most ticket inspectors look parched to me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
they seem on the parched side, don't they?
Yeah. Well, it's just nice. You know what? They've got a job to do, and we've got to respect that. But at that time, especially, it was seen as a ball ache.
Do you know what I think they could do to help that whole industry is just make it a bit more fun. If you got a yellow card and then a red card, right? I think people would play the game a bit if there was a bit more of a game in the whole thing. Do you know what I mean? It's when you're just like, oh fuck, I'm only 2 minutes. Do you know what I mean? But if it was a bit more fun, if it was a bit like you got a yellow, and then it's like, sorry,
do they get 3 strikes?
And then you get fined for a red.
Do the whereabouts and all that. You get 3 strikes.
Yeah.
They brought that in. You had to text the whereabouts and all that because they could come to your house. So you have to give
drug inspectors or parking.
No, drug. We're going back onto drug.
Oh, sorry.
We're back on drug.
Inspectors.
Are you on inspectors?
I was still on inspectors.
Oh, no, I don't know what the fuck they breed them.
No, the whereabouts. I had a funeral on a Friday, and you have to let them know if you're not going to be in. And I got nominated to do the drug test on the Friday. But I wasn't there. But we had an away game at Portsmouth on the Saturday, so I met at the hotel when I was at Villa, and they come to my hotel room. They knocked on my hotel room, and we used to play cards, and we were playing cards. There's me, I think Glenn Little, a few of the boys all playing cards, and then we just got this drugs officer sitting.
Carry on playing cards.
Was he putting in?
He's in our hotel room, just in the corner, just watching us, and we're just having a little bit of.
Did you used to have big card schools? Remember England ones?
Yeah.
Big, weren't they?
They're pretty big.
Yeah, they weren't as big as yours. I don't think they was on your category.
It's just like
they was before me. I think it was the Keegan era was the big one, wasn't it? Was that right? Was it?
They played big, but money wise, it was like our era played big.
It wasn't.
Kieran Dyer and them
pretty.
boys pay a lot of money, man.
Yeah, I was involved in a few.
David James.
Yeah, them boys were hardcore.
Every single moment of downtime is Usram straight away.
Well, I remember Michael Owen in 2006, the World Cup. Obviously being away, I just sort of got in with Mo a little bit there. There was a lot of gambling.
There's loads. He used to walk into training with a racing post under his arm. Everyone else had a wash bag. He had the racing post. It was unbelievable.
That's kind of on form for him, though, isn't it?
But Diddy Aman did the same. So obviously Diddy was his mate as well. So Diddy Aman was at Liverpool. Same thing. This fella's German. He's got a racing post under his arm every morning. Loved it. I have to say, I'm enjoying this so much. I think we all are. I think we've got 2 episodes in this. This is end of part 1. Tune in next week for part 2.